The heart is composed of two different types of cells, cardiac myocytes and pacemaker cells. In this video, we will explore how an action potential is started in pacemaker cells. The pacemaker cells are responsible for generating the action potential that propagates through the heart muscle and make your heart beat. The pacemaker cells include all these parts, and most importantly, this special region of the heart right over here called the Sinoatrial Node, or the SA node. The SA node is responsible for creating each action potential that initiates a cardiac cycle. These cells have a unique property called automaticity, which allows them to spontaneously depolarize without any external stimulation, and so they essentially act as the pacemaker of the heart. The pacemaker cells in the SA node produce roughly 60 to 100 action potentials every minute. They transmit their action potential to the rest of the conduction cells in the heart and to the cardiac myocytes through a type of gap junction called intercalated discs. One important thing to note is that although the autonomic nervous system can change your heart rate and the strength of cardiac contraction through neuronal or hormonal influences, the ANS does not initiate the electrical impulses that lead to a heartbeat. Let's look at action potentials now. An action potential is a sudden, rapid, transient, and propagating change in the electrical membrane potential. This is what an SA node action potential looks like, and it can be divided into three different phases: phase 0, phase 3, and phase 4. Phase 1 and 2 do not exist in pacemaker cells, but they are present for cardiac myocytes. Let's start with phase 4 of the cycle. This phase is called the spontaneous depolarization phase. The SA node has special sodium leak channels called funny channels, or IF channels, that slowly leak sodium ions into the cell, hence the slow upward trend in the membrane potential. Since the membrane potential continuously and gradually becomes more positive, the membrane potential in the SA node is never fully at rest, and so it is said to have an unstable resting potential. This slow positive increase in voltage is also called the pacemaker current or funny current. The slope of phase 4 determines the heart rate and is different for pacemaker cells in different regions. A steeper slope would indicate a faster heart rate. SA node pacemaker cells depolarize at a rate of 60 to 100 times per minute, while the AV node depolarizes about 40 to 60 times per minute. The pacemaker with the highest rate of depolarization takes over as the primary pacemaker. In healthy individuals, this is the SA node. Eventually, the membrane potential will reach the threshold of approximately minus 40 millivolts and initiate phase 0. Phase 0 is called the depolarization phase. Once the membrane potential of the pacemaker cell reaches the threshold of approximately minus 40 millivolts, voltage-gated calcium channels will open to allow a rapid influx of calcium ions into the cell. This rapid influx of calcium ions triggers a depolarization that generates the action potential. The membrane potential reaches the maximum voltage of approximately plus 10 millivolts. Next is phase 3, the repolarization phase. During this phase, the calcium channels close and the voltage-gated potassium channels open to allow the efflux of potassium ions out of the cell. This loss of positively charged potassium ions drives the membrane potential back to the negative resting potential of approximately minus 65 millivolts. This leads back to phase 4, and the cycle repeats. The shape of the action potential differs between pacemaker cells and contractile cardiac cells. The differences in the shape of the action potentials are due to differences in the types and densities of ion channels in their cell membranes. Pacemaker cells have a lower density of sodium channels than contractile cardiomyocytes. Pacemaker cells have sodium leak channels that are responsible for the spontaneous depolarization during phase 4. Contractile cardiac cells, on the other hand, have voltage-gated sodium channels that generate a rapid depolarization during phase 0. Pacemaker cells also have less calcium channels compared to contractile cardiomyocytes. In pacemaker cells, the opening of calcium channels depolarizes the cell membrane. In cardiac cells, the opening of the calcium channels creates a plateau in the membrane potential. As a result of the differences in ion channels, the action potential of pacemaker cells has a slower depolarization rate and a lower peak voltage compared to the contractile cardiomyocytes. Now, time for some questions to test your understanding. Which ion primarily contributes to the depolarization phase of the action potential in pacemaker cells? Pause here if you need more time to think. Let's start by taking another look at the potential graph. Phase 4 is the spontaneous depolarization phase where sodium ions spontaneously enter the cell through funny channels. This causes a gradual depolarization until the threshold is reached. When the membrane potential reaches the threshold, it triggers the opening of voltage-gated calcium channels to allow an influx of calcium ions. This rapid influx of calcium ions during phase 0 is responsible for depolarizing the membrane and triggering the action potential. The depolarization in phase 0 is much greater and more rapid than the spontaneous depolarization in phase 4. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Calcium influx is the primary ion responsible for the depolarization phase in pacemaker cells. Did you get the question right? Comment what you thought down below. If you want to learn more about this subject, check out this video. And if you want to learn the same thing but in French, check out this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Bye!